ilifanya kuwe vile kulienda.
Nataka niwapatie mtisha, niwapatie rambi zangu na kuambia kwamba sisi tutasimama nanyi na bado tuweke imani yetu kwenye Mwenyezi Mungu.
Nancy Kwari, Lunchtime News.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has cautioned citizens against spreading hate speech on social media. The commission, while referring to recent clashes witnessed in Garissa, where 13 people were killed, said that individuals who post hate messages on their platform will be immediately arrested and charged in court.
The National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has camped in Garissa County, meeting with various stakeholders from the county government officials, security officers, peace elders to religious leaders in a bid to bring a permanent solution to interclan clashes.
Kulikuwa na kesi ambayo tunajua kuna jamaa ama kikundi ambayo inaongeza chechi ama matamshi ambayo aridhi, tunaweza request ile kidogo pull down, wanaweza zitoa kwanza. Sisi tukipeleleza wao itoe kwanza isiende isikuwe viral.
The retaliatory attacks have been going on for the last 1 month, have so far claimed the lives of 13 people, among them students. NCIC Commissioner Abdiaziz Farah says they get evidence either in forms of videos or screenshots, then they will act swiftly and bring the hate mongers to book. He further opened up that investigations were going on to ascertain if the allegations that some people were funding the clashes from abroad were true.
They're everywhere and they spew their hate speech from those angles. We are aware and we will take up our job. We have already started serious investigations on the characters who are spewing hate speech.
Religious leaders who spoke in the meeting alleged that land is the main cause of the conflicts in Garissa and called on the county government to move with speed in planning the town.
Viboko ya serikali ndio tunataka. Tafadhali msigobe ni nani? Msiseme huyu ni nani? Ana cheo gani? Ana mambo gani? Hiyo ndio ombi letu la religious leaders.
Mimi naona kwa maoni yangu ardhi shida ni ardhi, na kama serikali anaweza kuingilia kubanga mambo ya ardhi, shida yetu itakusha.
The people who are mandated to solve land issues must take up their space, must wake up and must manage this county so that we don't have no more bloodshed. The county government, of course, will be the first one to be flanked.
Already, the county government has banned all mining activities, land subdivision, or selling of land indefinitely.
2 people were arrested at the famous Garissa Lodge Trading Center in Nairobi's Kisii area, and an assortment of counterfeit makeup products seized. Kenya Bureau of Standards and police officers made a prompt raid to facility and arrested the 2. According to KEB's acting managing director, Chief Officer Estangare, the counterfeit beauty products are banned in the country and are dangerous for human use.
So if a product has the standardization mark, the next thing you do as a consumer is to send, there's a code below that standardization mark, which is, there's a number. So you send SM hash, that number to 20023.
It's very dangerous for human beings. They are not supposed to be taken because they really cause harm to the skin.
All right, leaders from Seborough County have called upon pastoralists to switch to farming through irrigation owing to availability of water. Speaking at the launch of the water project in Garma village initiated by the county and national government through Water Trust, Seborough Governor Lelit Lati promised that his government will prioritize water availability in every part of the county, which he believes will improve livelihood.
Maji ikiwa tunaempower mama, kwa sababu kazi mingi kwa pastoralist ya mama ni kushota maji. So maji ndio inatawala kila kitu. Ndio tumeamua kama county kuwa maji ni priority number 1. Maji karibia kila kijiji. Tumemapi county kila mahali
more than 8,000 people watakuwa wamefaidika na hii miradi ya maji. Tunashukuru Water Trust Fund, ushirikiano yao na County Government ya Samburu na Sawasco, the service provider hapa Samburu, kwa kuweza kufanya kazi mzuri. Najua tuliahidiwa na PS kwamba tutafungua hii miradi, watu wapate maji kwa hospitali, kwa manyumbani, na pia watu wafanye ile inaitwa household irrigation, kwa sababu wale wetu wengi ambao wako hapa, hali ya hewa hapa kwetu Samburu West ina bora kuwa na maji, watu wanaweza weka shamba ile ndogo ndogo ya nyumbani na watu wanaweza kupata chakula.
Niko na furaha kwa ajili ya project hii ambayo tumekuja kuwitness leo kwa commission. Tumeona ni project ambayo itaserve area kubwa, na mimi ninajua kwamba wakina mama wataenda kupumzika, kwa sababu wakina mama ndio huwa wanaenda kutafuta maji, wanaenda sehemu mbali kuchota maji, kubeba maji kwa migongo sao. Lakini leo tuko na furaha kwa sababu hii maji itaenda kupumzisha wakina mama, na muda wao ambayo kawaida wanatumia kwenda kutafuta maji sasa watatumia kufanya miradi za maendeleo.
Labour Cabinet Secretary Florence Bore now says her ministry is currently fast-tracking the review of the National Volunteerism Policy and the development of the National Volunteerism Bill to mainstream the program. Speaking during the official opening of the Africa Volunteering Conference in Nairobi, Bore urged ministries to incorporate volunteers in their strategic plan in a bid to tap into the knowledge and expertise that will improve service delivery. She urged the ministries and organizations to give priority to the marginalized communities who are always forgotten in the process. The theme of the 3-day conference is A World of Doing Good.
Currently, we are working on a policy that was done in 2016. We are trying to review the policy on volunteerism. We'll also have a bill on volunteerism that we'll bring to Parliament so that we can ensure we do good, or we have a day where we do good across Kenya. So mine is to appeal that if you are able, do good to your neighbor. Do good to the person next to you. Speak good to the person that is next to you. And as a department, we usually say the Kenyans that need our support are almost about 20 million, almost half the population, because they are marginalized, they don't have access to water, they don't have access to food, they need our support. And as a government, we are only supporting about 1.2 million. Currently, we have directions from His Excellency the President that we support another 500,000 to bring them on board.
We think it is time for Africa now to look at the place and of technology and innovation in volunteering. Then we are going to look at what are the legal frameworks around volunteering that is in Africa. So that is why we have more than 30 countries to see case studies of which countries in Africa have been able to build some laws around volunteering that will support and create enabling environment for volunteerism to thrive.
Was drama in Siaya County as irate residents forced county firefighters to turn back after they showed up more than 2 hours after a fire distress call. The cause of the fire, which razed down several businesses, is yet to be established, even as residents questioned the effectiveness of the county emergency fire response units.
The debris from the fire incident left behind evidence of the intensity of the raging flames that destroyed property of unknown value. Ngio residents who were left counting losses were not amused when the county fire response unit arrived more than 2 hours later after they were alerted of the fire outbreak, and they did not hide their outrage. The firefighters who arrived at the scene with the sirens blaring were forced to make a U-turn as residents accused them of making a grand entry after the fact. Left with egg on their faces, the firefighters were forced to retreat under a hail of stones from the charged crowd. The The residents are questioning the punctuality of response units, especially in the wake of emergencies that need quick action.
Kama sisi yenyewe tumechukua maji tukazima so wanataka kukuja aje na hii moto ndio tumeshaizima. Si waache tu waende. Hey.
They came after 2 hours. After we and the residents, we did it ourselves, claiming that there's no fuel and there's no driver actually.
They challenged the county boss to ensure disaster management units respond to distress calls in a timely manner. The fire is reported to have started from one of the shops before spreading quickly to other businesses.
Just take good care of the office so that when we call you, kindly please run to our aid.
Atusaidie, tupate mapato kidogo juu mapato yetu iko chini na vitu yetu ndio hiyo imeharibika.
Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
All right, day 4 of the Ma Cultural Festival in Sekenani, Geta Masai Mara National Reserve, the county of Narok. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is this afternoon expected to officiate the event, one that is bringing the Ma community from all over the country and also the neighboring Tanzania. Hashtag Twende Narok, hashtag Ma Cultural Festival, hashtag Kira Ma. KBC is the official media partner, and we have able team on the ground. My colleague Jackie Wambiru is on standby. Jackie, day 4 of the Ma Cultural Festival. How are you?
A very good afternoon to you, Irene Muchuma, there at the Broadcasting House. We are joining you live from the Mara National Reserve, where the Ma Cultural Week enters. Today is day 4, and the Ma Sports Day will culminate this event this afternoon. And remember, we are expecting Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to grace this event. And some of the guests have been able to arrive at the venue of Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza, as well as Narok Governor Patrick Olentutu, as well as Kajiado Governor Joseph Olelenku. Well, we have other guests who have arrived at the venue, and however, we haven't gotten to understand how these events came into fruition. And this afternoon we'll be speaking to the task force committee that brought this colorful event to life. Now, I'm joined by the chair. Welcome, sir. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Kimaren Oleriamit, based here in Narok. And I was privileged to be one of the co-chairs facilitating the design and delivery of this historic event, the Ma Cultural Festival.
Kindly tell us how long it took you to plan this event, and have you achieved your objective?
Our leaders were inspired that since a colonial encounter, the Ma nation was scattered. Marsabit, Baringo, Laikipia, all the way to Tanzania, Kajiado, Narok. And they felt that we need to come together to celebrate this unique, resilient culture that has resisted pressures of modernity, globalization, to be really the most visible culture, material culture in this country. And so our task was to pull together an event that brings 16 territorial sections of the Ma Nation to come and celebrate together here at Mara Sekenani. And I can tell you it has been exhilarating, it has been an exciting moment, nostalgic. The last time we were together was before we ascended the Kerio Valley, long before even the explorers came. And so, but the culture is amazing, the similarities, the nuances are amazing, and it's been very refreshing, even seeing the leadership of this country, Kenyans, flowing in, the president acknowledging how this culture has been deeply connected to conservation, the conservation landscape of Masai Mara, the Amboseli returning back to the Kajiado County. It has been for us a very humbling experience organizing and seeing this coming to fruition.
Very well. Now we'll speak to the co-chair, and we've seen that in this event we've been able to economically empower women, men. But let's talk about the women. What role have they played in this event? At the same time, just tell us about that.
Okay, my name is Naomi Kipuri, and I'm also privileged to be a co-chair in this important event. It's a special event, and I think it's for everybody, all genders and all categories of people. Women specifically are fundamental to the culture in the sense that it's women who transmit culture to their children. The very fundamental part of culture is language, and it is women who teach the children their language, which carries the rest of the culture. So they have played a significant role here. Children haven't been much, have not played a critical role here yet, because it's been very difficult to carry children, to monitor their movements. But as it is, women have played a critical role. And for this particular occasion, they've also been allowed to sell their items, their artifacts, their beadwork, which is very elaborate. So they have brought their items and are selling them, and everybody has enjoyed interacting with all of them.
What is your message to the Ma community as well as other communities, especially looking at this event?
The Ma community find this an exciting process. First of all, it is women who started the process in the 2001, 2002. They held a cultural festival and actually managed to bring 800 people to Bomas of Kenya in 2002. And it is the idea of bringing Ma communities together in unity so that they can share this special language and culture, and to celebrate it and to share with the rest of Kenyans who, because of colonial experiences, have not been able to maintain their own. So we are celebrating with all Kenyans and asking all Kenyans to celebrate with us our special nuances of our culture.
Very well. Kenyans being urged to celebrate their cultures. Well, we shall be bringing you live every occurrence at this Ma cultural event as it culminates. Remember, we're waiting for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to make his way to the venue. And remember, the Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza has just made her way to the venue. We'll be bringing you live the developments from the venue. From Masai Mara National Reserve, my name is Jackie Wambiru. Back to you.
Thank you, Jackie Wambiru at the Masai Mara National Reserve. This as the Ma community holds its inaugural Ma Festival in the county of Narok, one that has brought together leaders from all over the country. Cabinet Secretary is part of the event this afternoon. This as Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is expected to officiate the event. The Ma community largely dominates 4 counties: Baringo, Kajiado, Narok, and the Ilchamus from the county of Baringo. Now, in other news this afternoon, over 100 informal traders and micro-enterprises starters from South Africa are currently undergoing a 5-day innovation and technology training in the county of Kiambu. The program aims at equipping them with entrepreneurial skills which will help them increase their turnovers. This is an initiative from a South African parastatal known as Wholesale and Retail Sector Education and Training Authority, which is set to oversee the traders undergoing rigorous training at Zitech University. The training will include marketing skills, customer care services, hygiene, and food safety regulations.
And once we do that, things are going to move quicker and faster. Because I don't see why should we create all these barriers towards each other.
To resolving issues of employment. And that's why we think it's very, very important for you to be able to learn and see for yourself practically how exactly does it happen.
as you seize this opportunity, when you go back, do something different. As you step in the market, as you listen to the big grammar, think, what am I going to do differently? Because this will build your legacy. These are the stories you'll tell your grandchildren.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. We are taking our first commercial break. We'll be back with more news, including news making headlines in the world of sports and business. Stay with us.
Zers needed 2 at 2:20, 2:25 and 2:29. Oh, and all of a sudden, it's the perfect zero. First time clearance at 2:33. Love the mask, and he loves that jump. The Cuban is playing up to the crowd, and they are loving it.
Italian.
Tamberi here at 2:36. Here's the Italian, the Olympic champion. A first time again. Oh, after one hiccup at 2:25, he's gone first time, first time, first time. Unbelievable from Tamberi. He has the lead. Harrison, 2:36. He's had a failure. Now, for the first time, he's been shunted off the top of the pile as the American. Javon Harrison. Perfect on his first three heights. 2:25, 2:29, 2:33. Then a little crack of vulnerability, but he goes clear as well. Still in the battle. It's not all over, not by a long shot. He's in second place after Tamberi goes clear. First time. Bashim, well, he's in a bit of trouble. Third attempt for him. Oh! Brings it down. Brings it down. Well, that's one of the upsets of the week so far.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Now, a Kiambu patient whose medical bill was cleared by the president has come out to express her gratitude. Tracy Waithira Wangari, who had been admitted in the hospital for a period of 3 weeks, could not afford to pay for her medical bill. But a visit to Kiambu town by president last week turned to be a blessing to Wangari after he offered to clear the over 100,000 shillings hospital bill. The check was delivered to the hospital by Kiambu Member of Parliament Waithaka Mashua, who said the Kenya Kwanza administration will review the National Hospital Insurance Fund to enable vulnerable patients to cater for their medical bill.
It was a blessing to one Tracy Waithira Wangari, who had been in the hospital for a period of 3 weeks and could not afford to pay for her medical bill. Waithira, who was admitted at Mayan Lifestyle Hospital, happened to hear about the whereabouts of the president.
Nikiwa hapa tu kwa ward junior hapa tu barabarani, nikasikia makelele na watu wakisema president amekuja Kiambu. So mimi nikawa tu nikasikia na mimi sijaiona president. So nikasema wacha tu niende nimuone.
Her anticipation to meet the president prompted her to request her doctor to remove her from the drip to go for a short call.
Nikaambia daktari anitoe niende nikajisaidie kwa washroom, but sikuenda, nilipita tu kwa mlango nikaenda, hawakuniona. Nikaenda mpaka kwa pale president alikuwa.
Wetera narrates that after reaching near the president, the crowd that was cheering the president shouted to him to help a sick patient, and the attention attracted the president.
Katika hiyo hali akaniona. Venye aliniona akanituma kwa Honorable Ishungwa. Venye nilienda hapo akaniuliza shida ni nini, nikamwelezea nimekuwa hospitalini na sijakuwa kazi na sai bill venye imepanda siwezi jilipia bill.
Speaking after clearing 103,000 medical bill to Waithera, Area Member of Parliament Waithaka Muchuma said the Kenya Kwanza administration is in the pipeline of reviewing National Hospital Insurance Fund NHIF to enable vulnerable patients to cater for their medical bill.
The only NHIF imekuwa na shida kidogo ambaye tunarekebisha. Kuna komiti ambayo ilikuwa naangalia maneno na hivi karibuni hiyo matatizo yote tutakuwa tumeangalia na imekuwa imerudi mambo kama kawaida.
Pauline Nasimir for Lunchtime News.
An ambitious water project has been launched in Kisii aimed at increasing access to clean water for residents in the county and its environs. The 19 million shillings water project funded by the Water Sector Trust Fund is part of the last mile connectivity program through the Kisii Water and Sanitization Company under the county government. Speaking during its launch at Nyatabaro Primary School, Kisii County, the area governor, Simba Arati, warned against illegal connections and wastage of water. He pledged to respond in time to consumer complaints and deal with inefficiencies that might lead to water leakages or shortages. Guasco Managing Director Lucy Wahiti commended the county government for its support in the project, which is an extension of the Kegati water supply service that will expand access to water services for residents.
This program is a last mile connectivity effort for the benefit of the residents of this area, courtesy of the county government of Kisii through the Kisii Water and Sanitation Company. The project will also include the construction of a high-capacity elevated steel reservoir tank and 2 water kiosks, beside purchase of 1,000 associated cold water meter to ease the connectivity to the customers.
Your Excellency, we expect this project to benefit the residents of Menyinkwa, Kiamavudu, Otaba, Masongo, and Nyataru.
Beneficiaries of Wings to Fly and Elimu Scholarship in Coast have undergone a 3-day intensive training on value-based leadership at Shimolatewa School in Mombasa. Equity Group Chief Commercial Officer Samuel Makome says there are 18 annual education and leadership congresses going on across the country with 18,000 scholars in Form 1 and 2 students. The Wings to Fly mentorship program holds 2 congresses for scholars. Form 3 and Form 4 Congress was held in May.
The category of learners we are dealing with are people who are significantly disadvantaged. Some of them came from very poor homes. It's the first time they are leaving maybe their village and getting into school. So they require a lot of affirmation, a lot of training, a lot of development. Our group does have a very, very ambitious program about African renewal. It's called the Africa Recovery and Resilience Plan. Within this plan, we are working very closely, even with people who have left the country. We are showing them that there are opportunities for them to come and work and develop our continent.
Welcome to Channel 1 Business. Kenya will export its first batch of fresh avocados to India in the next 2 weeks. Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service Managing Director Theophilus Mudui says Nairobi and New Delhi have completed trade talks and the new export market is projected to net Kenya over 2 billion shillings annually.
Kenyan avocado exports to China hit 9 billion shillings from March to May this year, as the Far East nation continues to be Kenya's leading avocado key market. India is set to join China as a key market for Kenyan avocado, as the first avocado exports are expected to hit the Asian nation next month.
The Indian government has opened the market for avocado, fresh avocado to India. So all Kenyan growers of avocados, you are welcome to export avocado to India.
Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service said the new market is expected to net avocado farmers 2 billion shillings annually in the initial years, with sales projected to surge after the market stabilizes.
Given the population of the Indian country, the market will be as big as of that of China.
Exporting agencies will be required to fumigate their consignments to ensure the fruits are free from Mediterranean and natal fruit flies.
Avocado must be fumigated with methyl bromide to remove all pests of concerns like fruit fly. An alternative treatment will be cold treatment, but for now, we have capacity to conduct fumigation.
Nairobi and New Delhi have been negotiating a trade agreement that will also see India's rice seeds allowed to access the Kenyan market. Kenya is also negotiating with India to waiver the 30% duty fee on avocado consignments to make the fruit more competitive in the Indian market. Benson Truba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Credit growth in the Kenyan banking sector grew by 12.5% in 2022, with stock of credit growing to 3.4 trillion shillings, according to the State of the Banking Industry Report 2023. The Kenya Bankers Association Chief Executive Officer Dr. Habil Olaka says total income contracted by 1.6% compared to a 2.3% growth it registered in 2021. Total assets in the sector grew by 8.2% to 6.5 trillion shillings in 2022 from 6.0 trillion shillings in 2021.
Report overall private sector credit registered a double-digit growth, albeit with some moderation, partly reflecting the transmission of monetary policy tightening stance.
The financial performance for the industry remained strong, with a notable upswing in total operating incomes that outpaced the growth in operating costs.
During a forum held to unveil the report, it was revealed that despite shocks experienced in 2022, growth in bank lending was achieved without any detrimental impact on the asset quality, as non-performing loan ratio declined to 13.7% in 2022 from 14.1% in 2021, reflecting an improvement in banking sector efforts to generate good quality loan book. With the banking sector's liability profile being driven by domestic deposits, deposits accounted for 87.3% of total liabilities in 2022, a slight decline in the proportion from 89.9% in 2021. And in terms of profitability, the total pre-tax profits rose by 23% to 241.52 billion shillings in 2022 from 196.44 billion shillings in 2021. The assets of deposit-taking microfinance banks continue to moderate, having contracted by 4.8% to 70.4 billion shillings in 2022 from 74 billion shillings in 2021.
My argument has been that the recovery efforts throughout the shock and the whatever little macroeconomic stability we've had, and that's an arguable point, the fact that the bank
monetary policy was tightened in the second half of 2022 to address high inflationary pressures and tame expectations.
Similarly, the net loans and advances to customers are further contracted by 1.9% to 39.3 billion shillings from 40.1 billion shillings in 2021. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
The government is keen on revitalizing the cruise experience at the coast by diversifying cruise excursions as well as upgrading terminals, roads and airports in the region. Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza says there is also a need for collaboration between all tourism players in the industry as Kenya moves to tap the lucrative cruise business.
national government can be able to provide visa-free movement, that means no payment for the crew, and not just this particular vessel, but any other cruise ship that is going to be able to berth in Mombasa. You can be able to enjoy not just Mombasa alone, but the whole of Kenya by the virtue of you being able to move.
Economy, as a crucial aspect of our tourism fabric, is set to witness invigorating changes, strengthening our commitment to sustainable tourism. We are already working on refining the cruise experience, with the Mombasa playing a pivotal role. Future plans include diversifying the excursions available to our cruise passengers. This is part of a larger infrastructure push that includes upgraded airports and road connectivity, all designed to amplify the magical Kenya experience.
Gatundu dairy farmers are set to experience high yields in milk production following the introduction of new semen of superior breeds. This comes after over 2,000 dairy farmers received semen straws and 400 liters of liquid nitrogen from Brookside Milk Processing Company.
Dairy farmers are now optimistic that the new breeding system will entirely improve dairy farming in the area. Brookside General Manager Emmanuel Kabaki says the company has been training farmers on modern breeding techniques to help them improve their production.
We have been training with experts on dairy breeding. Other than just dairy breeding, we've been training on good animal husbandry, preservation of fodder. We all know that we are faced with vagaries of weather. So we came up with an initiative of encouraging farmers to conserve silage.
Once our cows are served and they calve, so at the end of the day, we expect the production to go high. Because if you, like a cow takes like 1 year or so before being served, the production goes down. But if it is able to give a calf, maybe at the end of the year, the production, once you start milking, the production will go high.
Kabaki says the company has launched conservation of silage competition as a way of encouraging fodder conservation, especially during the forthcoming short rains period. Chairman Gatundu United Dairy Cooperative Society John Gadanga applauded the initiative, saying the technology will have significant impacts on the dairy subsector in the region. Edna Murungi for Lunchtime News.
Small-scale fish traders in the county of Busia are set to benefit from a 14 billion shillings aquaculture business development program. The program is a joint venture by the government of Kenya and the International Fund for Agricultural Development that aims at increasing fish production in the country and sustain livelihoods.
Kenya has a fish deficit of 365,000 tons annually against a demand of 500,000 tons, forcing the country to rely on imports from China to fill the deficit. To reduce fish and the overall food import bill, the country has embarked on the 8 years Aquaculture Business Development Program. Among other services, fish farmers will be receiving free fingerlings to increase their fish stock.
Imenipea fingerlings, imenipea chakula.
In Busia County, farmers have already produced an additional 44,000 kilos of fish since the project started.
Imetusaidia kwa sababu nimeweza kuanza kufuga samaki kwa wingi.
Farmers now want additional funding to strengthen the fish value chain to increase their earnings.
We want to add in the business aspect so that besides the normal subsistence production, if we can commercialize so that we have a business element.
The government has defended the move to increase tax on clinker and gypsum minerals, arguing the levy is meant to discourage the outsourcing of the minerals as imports. Mining Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria says there is need to promote local manufacturers whose ripple effect is job creation for the workforce in the country. The CS was speaking in the county of Mombasa while presiding over the Compassion Kenya Partner of the Year Awards hosted to acknowledge the organization's contribution towards education and environmental conservation at the coast.
hatuoni haja ya kwamba watu waweze kulete klinka kutoka ng'ambo, wakati sisi hapa tuko na limestone, tuko na gypsum. Kwa hivyo ndio maana tukaweka hapo gharama kidogo ya wale ambao wana import mambo ya klinka na gypsum, ili kuweza kuhakikisha tumeweza kupatia nafasi viwanda vya hapa Kenya viweze kuhakikisha wanafanya value addition na kubuni nafasi za kazi. Na sawia na hayo pia vile tunaweka imposition ya uagizaji wa samaki kutoka nje, tuweke levy hapo kidogo ili tuhakikishe tunaongeza mapato na kazi hapa nyumbani. Kwa hivyo ndio maana hivi sasa tuna mikakati mingi ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunafufua uchumi kupitia mambo ya samaki, na najua kwamba hivi sasa ndio mambo haya tumeanza kutekeleza. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mianya mahali ambayo imetokea, hiyo itaweza kuhakikisha imekabiliwa, ili kwamba huu mfumo ambao tumeweka uweze kuhakikisha kubuni kazi kwa wananchi.
Tatu City, in partnership with the China Africa Economic and Trade Chamber of Commerce, will promote commerce and cooperation between China and Africa through, among other things, market access. Executive Vice President of Tatu City, Solomon Mahinda, says the pact is also expected to boost bilateral relations between the two countries, paving the way for new business opportunities.
Tatu City is already home to many Chinese companies, including Sinotrac's Assembly, Tianglong, a gas cylinder manufacturer, Steckle Corporation, and footwear manufacturer Peony Star. According to Vice President of Tatu City, Solomon Mahinda, the venture is also poised to define how trade policies can be refined to promote investments and market access in Africa. Mahinda says this creates synergies that will unlock new avenues of growth, stimulate trade, foster enduring friendships between the two countries, and establish Kenya and the Greater East Africa region as the landing port for continental investments. Additionally, businesses operating in the smart city are set to enjoy VAT zero rating, import and stamp duty exemptions, and 10% corporate tax for the first 10 years and 15% for 10 years thereafter. Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
Humphrey Watanga Mulongo has been sworn in as the new Commissioner General of Kenya Revenue Authority. This follows his recent appointment by the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndungu, through a Gazette notice dated August 22nd. The Commissioner said during his 3-year term, he will be integrating technology into KRA operations to hit and surpass the 2.9 trillion revenue collection target set for the 2023-2024 financial year. Technologies such as advanced data analytics and artificial intelligence will, among others, enable the authority analyze taxpayer data and uncover potential tax gaps. He further said he would push for the implementation of a national tax policy to enhance fairness and equity in the tax system, as well as create predictability of tax rates and bases and enhance tax compliance, among others.
Having been appointed as the Commissioner General of the Kenya Revenue Authority, do swear that I will be true and faithful to the best of my ability and power in the execution of the trust committed to my charge and inspection in the service of the Kenya Revenue Authority. We are looking to accelerate the technological advancement of KRA so that we can really utilize the great sort of digital leap, digital advancement in technology. In the last sort of few years, even in the recent past, you've seen what has happened in the area of technology. We now have machine learning modules, we have big data analytics, we have artificial intelligence. So ours is really to see how we are going to harness this advancement in technology and bring that to the fore to really help simplify the tax administration process and just make the tax experience process for the taxpayers much more palatable so that we can drive compliance, facilitate enforcement, increase the tax base, and ultimately reach the targets which, as Mr. Chair put out there, we are looking at going for the 3 trillion target and then growing from there.
Thank you for staying with us. From business news to sports, National Assembly Committee on Sports Chairman Dan Wanyama says there is need to invest more on training and youth development programs in a bid to improve the standards of sports in the country. Wanyama, who was speaking in Budapest, Hungary during the ongoing World Athletics Championships, said that Kenyan sprinters can excel if they get the necessary support.
Wanyama, who is the chairman of the National Assembly Committee on Sports and also member of parliament for Webuye West, has urged all stakeholders to invest more on training of athletes and youth development programs.
Kusema hivi na ni changamoto ambalo wana Kenya wanatakana wajue kwamba hizi medo hasipatikani tu kwa sababu umelipa mchezaji allowance ama umemkatia tikiti amekuja mashindano. Kitu cha maana ni kwamba support gani umepatia huyu mchezaji akifanya mazoezi. Because unless we invest in the training of these athletes, it will be very, very difficult for us to achieve what we want to achieve at the end of the day. Omanyala has done beyond the expectation of us.
He says plans to put up sports academies in 34 regions across the country are on course.
So I want to encourage other federations that without a youth program, we can never be able even to participate in these international championships of this level. As we speak, the only team sport that has participated in the World Championship, we can only talk of rugby and the volleyball ladies. Any other, it is a challenge. And therefore, we must copy from the Athletics Kenya that our youth programs must be encouraged at all costs for us to grow the talent.
The program seeks to nurture talent from the grassroots in line with the government's Talanta Hela initiative.
Na tumefanya nini kama wabunge? Tumepitisha kwamba katika mwaka wa makadirio wa pesa wa mwaka huu tunaenda kujenga sports academies 34 katika constituencies across the country. Ndiposa hizi talanta ziweze kukuzwa mapema kuanzia mashinani.
Kennedy Langat, KBC Sports, Budapest, Hungary.
Perina Lokure Nakang, a refugee athlete and a Form 2 student at Kapchorwa Secondary School studying under Shoe for Africa program, was among 6 refugee athletes who took part in this year's World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary. The program is run by former World 800 meters champion Janet Chepkosgei in partnership with World Athletics.
Perina Lukore is determined to excel in running despite the challenges she faced while in the refugee camp.
Na mimi tu nimetolea, sasa mimi niko na talent ya kukimbia, acha tu nikimbie, niweke bidii yangu, nikuje nibadilishe maisha ya familia yangu. Kama Mungu atanisaidia.
Lukore is a Form 2 student at the Kapchorwa Secondary School, studying under Shoe for Africa program, a pilot program run by former World 800 meters champion Janet Chepkosgei.
When there is a championship like this, a world championship, I'm able to come and bring some of the teams as a head coach. This is a way actually to show the refugees that they can also do well in the sports. It's a very nice program. And it goes along with the education. We have those who are in high school, like Perina, she's a Form 2, and it's an exchange program. It's sports and education. We would like to make it happen. Actually, someone can do well in their class and also as well as sports.
Chepkosgei, who is running the program in partnership with World Athletics, says the main aim of the program is to give refugees opportunities to excel in sports. The 6 athletes include 2 Kenyans and 4 from France, Syria and Denmark.
Realistic. Not all of them are going to get medals. So if we can bring them on using sport, tomorrow what are they going to do? They will become PE teachers. They could also, we're going to teach them to become coaches, level 1, level 2, level 3, and even more, why not one day become a sports official in the camp? So we want to develop this as we're doing, and hopefully we will be able to, I hope one day even have a track in Kakuma so that the young athletes who are there also have a chance to have a track.
They took part in high jump, 800 meters race and steeplechase. Kennedy Langat, KBC Sports, Budapest, Hungary.
National women's volleyball team Malkia Strikers strolled into the finals of the Africa Women's Volleyball Championships with a 3-1 sets win over defending champions Cameroon. The win lifted Kenya to position 22 on the rankings with 155.86 points, and topping Africa. Malkia Strikers are on course to represent Africa at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Cameroon, who are now ranked 28th with 133.23 points, were Kenya's biggest threat and will now play for bronze against Rwanda, who lost in 3 straight sets to Egypt in the semi-final. Egypt, who are now ranked 34 with 117.34 points, will play Kenya for the title tonight. For keeping it KBC Channel 1, that is the end of the lunchtime news. Remember, the Aquaculture Festival is underway at the Masai Mara National Reserve in the county of Narok. KBC is the official media partner. Hashtag Twende Narok, hashtag Kira Maa, hashtag Ma Cultural Festival. My heritage, my culture. My name is Irene. Muchuma on sign language interpretation. We have Lucy Maura. Till some other time, good afternoon.